USD. It's a 30-year-old bike. Started Thursday. The next slide. So, biking to me began very serendipitously. There was this bike lying right opposite my house. It was just there and rusting away. It has Royal Enfield written on it. I never paid any heed to it. Stuff. And lying opposite that bike, parked in my building, was this other USD of my neighbor. You see the blue cover? He just used to keep it covered and that's it. He just open it, wipe it, shut it, open it, wipe it, shut it. And he turned the tires to keep the bearings free and things like that. So one day I was coming back from football or something and he said, will you help me start the bike? I helped him start the bike. He refused to ride it. He said, I have a slip disc. I'm not going to ride it. So I said, okay, put the bike off. I left. This kept happening 2-3 times and finally he told me to ride the bike. I rode it once, twice, thrice. The bike seeped into me. And over time I kept riding this bike. The keys, I don't know how, they just inevitably ended up with me. And this was my bike. It was his bike, but it became my bike. This bike finally gave up. Suspension broke, the rims rusted, required a lot of fixing. So I parked the bike, I couldn't ride it. And for my 21st birthday, 4 of my friends, they went out and bought me this jersey for 8,000 rupees in 2007. It was in good condition, but it wasn't not in great condition to go anywhere as such. But that's what it was, and that's how I got it. And then that's what I finally made it. I stripped the bike, painted it, did the engine work and everything. And then I wanted to ride. At that time after I made the bike, I said, it's a USD, it's an old bike. The first, I thought the only thing I would do is ride to Goa. That would be awesome. You know, Maharashtra, Mumbai to Goa on the road and all, fantastic. Goa never happened for me until yesterday. Right? I bought bags, dirt sides, saddle bags, and I just rode. And then he said, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? Logic in India, you want to ride, or anywhere you want to ride, it's the mountains, right? The mountains are there, you ride to the mountains. And I just set off, sent my bike to Ambala, rode to Leh and rode back. And that was it. That day I knew that it's this trip, not just a day, but I knew that this was life. And this is what I rode for. You know, the mountains, you ride for this. And once you get there, and this is it, the constant scenery, you know, of this whole thing. Minor breakdowns, I made some petrol can, small, in one day I made a jerry can holder, filled 10 liters of petrol, the jerry can holder went straight down, took the backlight with it and everything. But you live and you learn, you just do stupid things and you go, that's it, you just ride. You keep going, I got that light also fixed, go on. And it's just day after day, day in and day out, that's it, just amazing, living off your bike, you have nothing else, what you packed and that's it. Few things you could buy maybe and that's really it. 2012, few of my friends, 2-3 of us, we were discussing and said we'll ride to Bhutan, you know, we'll go cross an international border and this, that. But in India it's difficult to cross international borders. Now Myanmar is opening up. Pakistan and China are not, you know, say come, let's ride through me. So we said Bhutan, Bhutan is ever welcoming. So we rode to Bhutan, 2 USDs, 3 USDs and 1 Enfield. And this is the contrast, you know, that's Bhutan and that's India. I just want to show how dusty it is and it's like, anyways, go on. When I kept riding with a group through the night, that's when I realized, especially on something like a USD, it's slow, you know. And it used to take us through the night, one bike, this happened, one bike, that happened. And we'd end up reaching in the night, we were waiting at a toll plaza, like checking our papers and letting us through. So we'd end up reaching only in the night. And you get up in the morning and you're here in the middle of nowhere. And these views and day in and day out, the reason why you ride, you know, it's you just get out there and ride. It's just beautiful. Bhutan as a country is spectacular. There are things that you don't account for when you're sitting on Google and you say, ye route hai, wo route hai, you know, I'll do this, I'll do that. 200 kilometers sounds good, I'll go, you know, I'll reach by 4 o'clock, I'll have a beer, I'll be happy. No! There's going to be a landslide or something is going to happen. Anyways, we got through the whole thing. We reached the Bhutan border. Just go one slide back. We reached the Bhutan border and the 2 of the guys, they were like, get it with this. Finished. Guwahati is 150 kilometers from here. I have booked my flight. I'm going to go send the bike Mumbai train, we're done. I said, no, I'm not done. I mean, Bhutan, this is just 11 days. I said, Bhutan, how they are not done, yeah? I said, no, I'm not done. So they packed up bikes into the back of this jeep. And they're happy to leave. Huh? They're like, it's done. 11 days of driving to Bhutan, they're done. And I was like, no. And that's it. That's me. Suddenly, I'm there. And that's when it really hit me. I was like, I've chosen to stay back at the Indo-Bhutan border. Everyone's left. So it's fine. And I just went on. And I always read this very cliched line you read everywhere. You know, I say, solo biker is alone, but he's never lonely. But this is the actual experience of it. You're never really lonely. Everywhere. I actually left after a while because people are asking so many questions and repetitive questions. Either say, "Aaya, kyun kar rahe ho?" This, that, and they're intrigued and their inquisitivity of the whole thing. That's when I realized I'm never alone. I just stop on dhabas, no hotels, no nothing. I was done with the day. I just find a dhaba and I just take my sleeping bag out and sleep. That's it. Right there, everyone, trucks come and go. People have dinner and leave. I just sleep through the night. Get up in the morning. I say, Chotu, chai. And this guy comes, you know, chai and pani, and he gives you chai. Early in the morning, you have tea. And you're done. And you're right on the highway and ready to run it off. No going into cities and things like that. And this was another place I stopped at. And this guy, he said, "Nahi, you take the bike inside, it's safer inside," and things like that. So he needs shed over there, he gives me a bed and my bike, and that's it. Like my bike is my house, it's my wardrobe, it's my closet, it's everything. You open one bag, you take this out, you open the other bag, you take something else you need out. I don't remember where I put what, I unpack everything every day in and day out, throwing things inside out. But I know that I have this. Where? I don't know. And it just keeps going on. But then obviously breakdowns happen. I keep checking my spokes a lot. One day I found a broken spoke. Fine, now it's broken. I didn't have much to do. I said, let's continue riding. Continue riding. You see, on the whole hub, there's not one spoke that is actually holding the tire. The tire is completely separate from the hub. So it's just there. Like I'm accelerating through the axle, the hub moves, and the tire is there. Like, unconnected to the whole thing. And I knew at that point that the trip was actually over. There was no looking back. Now, right? You have to find the trucks and send the bike back to Bombay. So I just stopped, took my jacket, everything off, and I was having a chai. This guy comes on the hangar of the bike and says, "Hey, aapka chakka dekho." He's like, "Look at your tire." I'm like, "It's my tire. I know what's happening. I don't need to look at it." He's like, "Hey, Yasdi, you go ahead. There's a little shop and there's some TV shop and this guy, that guy. He has spokes. He has all Yasdi parts." I said, "They're in the middle of the highway. Who's going to have it now?" I said, I didn't pay much heed to it. Found a Tata Ace, put the bike inside, and I asked the driver, you know this TV showroom? He said, yeah, I know it. We went there, went opposite, and this guy said, I need just these spokes. He's like, how many? I actually had to go and count. I didn't know how many spokes were there on my bike. So I went and counted 36 or 38, something around. I said, ye lo, 1,000 hai mere paas. He gave me 1,000 spokes. I said, no, I take 38 that I need, 38 more just for spare. I still have those 38 which are unused. And just went on, fixed the bike that day, some guy fixed it for me and just went on. Next day, that night at the dhaba, I get this. He has a pet monkey, you know, this kid and the monkey, and it's just, you're never lonely. You're alone, but you're never lonely. It just goes on. A dog crossed the road. It's a typical Indian pedestrian dog, you know, it's crossing. I was holding a truck, the dog is crossing the truck, he sees me, he comes out, he sees me, he goes back, then he sees the truck, he comes back, and I go straight into it. There was nothing that had to be done. I was like, what are you doing? I was so fast and I was like, I never saw the dog again, and I asked somebody, is the dog fine? Like, leave them, you'll get another one tomorrow, don't worry, we don't know where they come from. But anyways, after that, I just said, now, should I shift the bike, should I not send it back by truck? I said, I'll ride 10 kilometers, rode 10 kilometers. He said, this is okay, I rode 20 kilometers, we did it. I ended up 900 kilometers riding home. I came back battered and bruised, but I was still home. I did Ladakh, I did an international border, now what? Kanyakumari, right? Kashmir to Kanyakumari, that's the thing. So, I did a trip to South India, and South India is just the like land, everything is there. Just came from Mysore. So I went down through Hampi, through Chennai, and this is what I ride for, you know. Just being alone on the road, the solitude, it's amazing. It's not like any other vacation that you can take. You can go for spas, you can go and get massage treatment, aromatherapies, hot stones, cold stones. All of that is short-lived. That's it, I'm telling you. A 1 hour therapy cannot cure it. There are some serious issues that massage is not going to help you. You just keep going. And now the suspension broke. On this trip, the suspension broke. But it's not also just the suspension, but everything just came apart. Spoke to a guy who helped me. This guy knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy who had a USB. I finally found him and living 80 kilometers on somebody else's scooter. I meet this guy and he says, what? And I'm like, see, this is the trip I'm doing. I showed him some pictures on the phone and all. He says, I have a USB, and he opens his garage. He has a lot of bikes, this old guy. He says, here, take the suspension off and go. I said, from this bike? Take it. Go, Kanyakumari. Go, have fun. I don't ride a bike anyway. You take it and go. Pay him $3,000. He says, I'll do what I have to do. Go. From his working bike, took the suspension off. He told me to take it off. So I didn't that. Took it off, gave it to me and said, that's it, be on your way. That brotherhood, that feeling that he has for the USD and for biking, he may have not traveled in his life, but that bond, that somebody is doing it and I am not going, I have the chance to complete this trip. He knew he was the link, he was that link in the whole trip. He just gave me a suspension. I don't know what happened to him, whether he found a suspension or he spent the 3,000 on something else. Bike is just like, no clue. Obviously when I reached Goa, and my wife met me in Chennai, then we rode to Pondicherry, then we went to Kanyakumari. I came back, so that was my Kanyakumari trip. 2015 was a point I'd say that I'd ridden through almost, say, 75% of India, and I have this, suddenly because of this, I got this fixation for borders. When I went to South India, I gone to Rameshwaram, that's a Sri Lanka border. On the way back from Bhutan, I got to the Bangladesh border at Benapole, all these kinds of things. So now I planned this trip, and you just go back. Go back. So I go from Mumbai, going through all the places I want to go through Sikkim, then go up to Tawang, then up to Mechuka, down into Tammu. That's the More Tammu, the Myanmar border. And this kind of circumnavigates, encompasses all the states that were left out of my earlier trips. So I kind of made that kind of a route and tried to follow it as much as I could, not lost quite a bit. This was like my first night. This is what I wanted. I'm sleeping in my bed, in my AC, comfortable at home. And I'm just thinking, when will I be in a dhaba? I want to be in a dhaba in my sleeping bag. That feeling you can never get. I'm very appreciative of the fact that I have a house and a bed, I'm comfortable. But that's funny that the anticlimax of the whole thing, sleeping on your bed and saying, when am I going to be in the dhaba? When am I going to be in the dhaba now? This was my first day, and I'm so excited. Move on. Khajuraho, beautiful place. Everybody's told that. Next. This is in Bihar. One of my big moment, on the trip was this. I was fixing a puncture that I had. There was nobody. This long stretch, I couldn't see a shop or nothing. So I had to take my tire out, roll it around myself and go fix it. This guy stops, he says, "Kya hua?" Helps me take the tire out. Tells his son, stay here with his bags and bike. Watch over them. I took a new tube and my tire. He takes me 4 kilometers to fix it at his friend's garage. He does not charge me. Brings me back, helps me fix the bike, and I'm on my way. All of this is Bihar. And in India, Bihar is considered the bad state. And this guy actually had that to say. He's like, सब लोग बोलते हैं, हम लोग ऐसे हैं, गन मिलता है, गैंग है. He's like, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं. They're very nice people, and especially when he heard that I'm from Maharashtra and Mumbai, he was more scared. He's like, "Hey, Maharashtra, I'm in Bihar." He was scared. He was actually saying, "Oh, guys, I'm in the car," and he's like, "Saab," and all. I'm like, chill, man. It's okay. Don't worry. Like, you're all humans, then. So. Next. Then on the way up, coming down from Sikkim, this is what happened to my brakes. You see inside the hub, my brakes are just disintegrating. I was actually descending only on that metal this next. Maybe we'll go back once. These brakes. I was carrying only one set with me. And I left, I downloaded a few things, some of the luggage in a hotel where I was traveling through Sikkim. So those brakes were in my bag and I was up there. So, but I don't know that they were not very good brakes and I needed to change them eventually. I just posted on Facebook, called up a few of my friends. I said, I need a USB brakes and I need a USB Lakeside. This guy Hani Saxena from Delhi, he calls me up, he says, which one do you need, rear or front? I said rear. So I'm sending you rear and front. I said okay, but I need it urgently. 2 hours later he WhatsApps me that courier, it says speed, express, super fast or something. It says courier. 2 hours later, that guy just sends it. Call him up, I said, how much do I have to pay you? And I'm going to transfer it. I said, like, pay me for what? You have to finish the trip and come back. This is for the brotherhood of biking. I think he's not taking money from it. So I told him I'll buy you a beer when you come to Mumbai. He said, no, you come to Delhi and buy me a beer. Okay, fine. Anyway, I mean, you just stop at places where you can just camp out in the mountains. And I love doing this. Just have a very small one-person tent. I was at this dhaba once, it's not even finished. Like the dhaba was being made and there's just one bed over there that's made. And I was going along and I saw this. I didn't see that bed. I just thought I'd stop here because it was really tired. It was really dark now. And I come in, the whole place is getting made and there's just one bed that's made over there. And it was my bed. I just took my sleeping bag out, took it out and I said, thank you. Like, it was a Taj Mahal hotel for me. It was just perfect. Everything always works out. You just be there. And you just keep riding through the mountains and just keep going. It's scenery like this. It's just, you can't ride sometimes. You just stop and you're just awestruck. You're just awestruck. If I hadn't told you, I'd say, oh, Switzerland, such a pretty place. That's what would have happened. But India is so beautiful, so beautiful. On the way back, I got an engine seizure. And I managed to somehow fix that and get ahead of that also and all. Finally, you get home. That's the point. After all of this, I've covered a lot of India, a lot. There's still a lot I have to do with the Ran of Kutch and anyway. But I always feel that the world is my oyster. And there are certain people who sometimes inspire you and say that things are possible. Those people are Deepak Kamath. After Deepak finishes speaking, there's a small video. If the organizers will let me show it, it's just 5 minutes. If you all want to watch the video, make some noise so then you all pressure. Are you listening?